Welcome to Bridge Fundamentals. This 9-part series explains the expected etiquette, ethics, and basic mechanics essential in playing bridge in a competitive situation. Today we look at the defender's role. We are now in play and you are defending. It seems there are many situations that defenders need to guard against, so they play in an ethical manner. This contrasts to the declarer, who only needs to consider themselves when playing. Today we discuss the importance of full disclosure, ethics in play, and the defender's rights. We have already discussed the restrictions on dummy and their associated body language. The same applies to the defenders. The most likely scenario is you believe you have clearly conveyed what you want your partner to play next, and they play something totally different. You cannot show your frustration. It is best if you keep any comments until after the game. Make a note on your personal scorer and discuss it then. Getting frustrated actually gives your opponents an advantage. Most importantly, your partner cannot act on this information, but your opponents now know where the danger lies and can play accordingly. No player at the table must touch another player's cards at any time for any reason. If you want to check something, ask for permission. No one enjoys two people sniping at each other, so keep it together until after the game. How you play your cards gives away information. For example, if declarer plays a card from dummy and you, sitting on their left, immediately put your hand on a card, they can deduce you are going to follow suit. Many players are tempted to rearrange their cards after a singleton. Do not do this. Everyone at the table knows that you've just played the last card in the suit, and the only person who can't use this information is your partner. Snapping a card down on the table can demonstrate your frustration and give your opponents an edge. Or conversely, it can be intentionally played as an intimidating gesture, which is unacceptable. It is best to decide what you are going to bid before putting your hands anywhere near a bidding box. Once decided, smoothly select your bid. Touching several bids or vacillating between your hand and the bidding box is giving away unauthorised information. So think before you bid. If the player before you takes your bid, try not to react. If you are asked about the bid and then take no action, you are putting your partner in a tough spot. Partner must completely ignore this information and bid as if the question had not been asked. In this example, you have a natural lead of the Queen of Spades, as it is the top of a sequence and all your other options are suboptimal. So there is no problem with the lead even though your partner pulled out the 1-spade bid. The opposition can still call the director, but they cannot see your hand and the director will approve this lead. In this example, the Queen of Hearts is your natural lead. If you lead the King of Spades, this would be determined by the director as a lead based on unauthorised information. When a player breaks tempo in bidding, it indicates they have a difficult choice. It might be that the player before them took their bid, or maybe their hand is a point or two shy on making a systemic bid. Their partner, when seeing that, must not compete on that basis. Partnerships developed over time enable you to understand your partner's tells. You should not take advantage of this. Your partner is able to bid despite your hesitation if their bid only relies on their hand. If there is a tempo break, it is good to agree that at that point in time, in case a dispute arises later. As in bidding, players are expected to play in tempo. It is not acceptable to delay playing a card when you hold 3 small cards in a suit in an attempt to fool the declarer into thinking you have a missing honour. If you hesitated because you were daydreaming, just say, "I'm sorry, I was miles away, I had nothing to think about." Equally, playing faster than usual indicates to your partner you have no choice to consider. Partner cannot use this information, and you should not deliberately deceive declarer about where cards are by changes of tempo. Always make your lead before completing personal scorers or entering information into the Bridgemate. Whilst you will normally finish a board in time, occasionally you get that slam hand that requires a good deal of thought to play, and you would appreciate the extra time. Always call the director when you think there is something wrong. It can be the wrong number of cards, you have seen this hand before, there is some infraction in the play. The director is trained for these situations and you are not, so call the director and do not make your own ruling. The Bridgemates have a call the director function. Make sure you know how to use it, as it reduces the emotion around calling the director. If the director fails to respond, then raise your hand politely and call the director. At the end of a trick, you may request to see all the played cards, but only if your card has remained face up. If the requester has turned their card over and then turns it back face up, you may refuse their request. This concludes part 6 of the Bridge Fundamental series. Thank you for taking the time to watch this, and we hope it enhances your bridge experience. Next, we discuss in play, end of board or round. Feedback is welcome and can be emailed to office@waverleybridgeclub.com.au.